What's up, y'all? Before we get into today's project, I just want to say this video is sponsored by VEVOR. We're going to take a quick look at this portable, rechargeable, inflatable tire inflator. Portable, chargeable, reflatable, inflatable, something. So real quick, this thing has a flashlight, safety, and all kinds of flashing for Halloween and stuff like that. Basically it has a plus and minus for setting your preset air pressure. There's a USB-A and a USB-C port. Comes obviously with a hose to inflate your tire. Also in the package is a ball inflatable needle in case you want to plug it into a 12-volt outlet. USB-A to USB-C cord for recharging, and a handy little carrying bag. Now this thing's awesome if you find yourself out on the trail and you got a low tire. It's even small enough to throw in your backpack or in your camelback or something like that in case your dirt bike tire's low. Also, if you want to deflate your tires for doing a little rock climbing and then pump them back up while you're out on the trail, great idea. Our tire's low here. I'm going to go ahead and pump this thing up to 16 psi. Well, there she is, just a tick over 5 minutes. We got up to our 16 psi. She shut off automatically. Great little tool. This thing's going to go in my toolbox, in my side-by-side. This will make a great gift for yourself or for one of your loved ones or family or friends. Go ahead and grab one before Christmas. I'll put the link down in the description. Now on to today's project. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today's project is going to be a 2004 Yamaha YZ250 two-stroke. This is a customer's machine, and he's pretty handy with repairing these, but this one is stumping him, baffling him. He can't figure it out. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can get it figured out. Backstory with this bike is that he was riding it, may potentially have gone over backwards on a wheelie, done some damage to the bike. After that, would no longer start. The engine was locked up. Turns out that the water pump gear had a broken tooth on it, and that was what's causing the engine to be locked up. He replaced that. While he was looking into the engine, he went ahead and threw a new ring on it, and it took a ton of kicks to get it started, but he got it started. It seems like it was running okay. He rode it for about 10 minutes. It bogged down, shut off on him. He's done a ton of diagnostics on it. He says the spark might potentially be a little bit weak. However, he says it does have good compression. I have my theories of what's going on with this thing right now, but honestly, I haven't looked at it at all. I gave it a few kicks, and that was it. So basically, we're going to get some diagnostics on a no-start YZ250. Stick around. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is get some access. So we're going to pull the seat. We're going to go ahead and pull the gas tank off so I can do a compression reading on the engine, and we can check the spark. Good place to start. It's a new plug, but that's a tight gap. Spark does seem a little bit weak. Let's throw an iridium in here and take a look at it. The spark is weak. Let me go ahead and do a compression test on it. All right, had about 150 psi of compression. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, compression feels real good. He did say that he changed the ignition timing. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to where it should be. We're going to start with a clean blank slate here. Not many threads holding on this flywheel here. I'm trying to see if I can feel if there's any play in the big end bearing. That nut wasn't really even holding. Timing appears to be pretty close. That's nothing that's going to be an issue. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take some measurements on our stator coils here and see if we're within spec. So I went ahead and reset the timing back to factory specification right in the middle. Put my flywheel back on again, tighten that up. Also clean the connection in the stator connector. And I hooked up another different spark plug, and let's take a look at the spark now. It's certainly not bad. That's enough to start this bike for sure. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is check my pickup coil resistance, and that is like a crankshaft position sensor that tells the CDI when to fire the spark plug. We're going to set this on resistance times 100 and zero out our ohm meter. All right, let's try this again with the old digital meter. We're good. Ideal temperature for this test is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The resistance could vary if it's much hotter or much colder. It just happens to be 68 degrees in the shop right now, so this should be pretty spot on. We're doing the pickup coil resistance, and it's going to be the positive lead is going to be the white with the red, and the negative lead is going to be the white with the blue. So we got a white with a red and a white with a blue. It almost looks black. I'm going to test the resistance across there. We're looking for 248 to 372. At 280.6, that obviously is good on the pickup coil. And next we're going to test the first source coil resistance, and it's going to be a black with red lead is going to be the positive, and a black lead is going to be the negative. That's the two here in the middle. And we're looking for 720 to 1080p. And we've got 828, so that falls within spec as well. And last source coil number 2 is going to be green with blue, positive, green with white, negative. So green with white is going to be negative. We are looking at 44 to 66 ohms. And that falls within spec too. So our stator is absolutely perfect. No issues there whatsoever. We may potentially have had a little bit of a corrosion issue or something, and unplugging it, plugging it back in, disturbed that or made the connection. That's why we got a pretty decent spark at this point. All right, so now that I got the flywheel back on and torqued properly, you can see that the end of the nut lines up with the end of the crankshaft threads here. So this thing was loose and it wasn't on all the way. All right, let's hit this combustion chamber with a little non-ethanol fuel fortified 32 to 1 with some Caster 927 2-cycle oil. She actually sounds like she's rolling a little bit lean, but man, I wish I had a better video for you. I was under the assumption, and I've run into this before, that these things seem to be fine, have great compression, yet they will not start up, and that's due to a big end bearing on the crankshaft being destroyed. And sometimes you just can't feel it when you're kicking it, but this thing is definitely plenty of compression. I don't think there's any issues with that. It's a very loud exhaust, so it's difficult to hear the bottom end. I was able to cover the end of the muffler up a little bit, and I don't hear anything rattling down there. So I think this is just going to be kind of a combination of a few different things. Potentially that flywheel not being installed properly make a huge difference, and also the connection for the stator just was not good. I'm gonna give it another kick, make sure she starts back up again. Well, he did tell me that there was no coolant in here. I'm going to go ahead and get coolant back in it for him and check the oil, make sure that that's in good shape. And I'm not sure there's much more we can do. He was testing the kill switch, which he's got all disconnected here, and obviously that's going to have to be replaced. But he's going to do that himself. So here we go, throwing some knack-knacks already over here on the stand. Well, fortunately for my customer, this is going to be a simple, easy, cheap fix for him. Unfortunately for you guys, it's going to be a boring kind of video. We didn't get into any teardown or anything like that, but that's okay. We'll definitely get into it on the next one. This one's so small, I probably could have made it a short. But anyway, same as always, appreciate you watching. Thumbs up, like, subscriptions, which doesn't cost you anything. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit that button. Definitely helps me out and doesn't cost you a single thing, except for a little muscle work there. You got to do a little bit to push the mouse or the button on the phone or however y'all do it. Thanks for tuning in on this one. Plenty more in the works. We'll see you soon.